Have you ever just stopped and thought about what makes the world around you, well, work? I'm not talking about the big, obvious stuff. I mean the silent, unseen systems that create the comfort we pretty much take for granted every single day. Today, we're going to explore one of those systems and the company that's mastering it. Let's pull back the curtain. So, what connects a classroom, your favorite coffee shop, and a state-of-the-art hospital? I know it sounds like the beginning of a weird riddle, right? On the surface, they couldn't be more different. But they all share this fundamental, totally invisible connection. Any ideas? Well, the answer is the very air you breathe inside them. It's this complex network of systems that keeps these places perfectly cool, or warm, or just right. It's an invisible architecture that literally dictates our comfort, and in a lot of cases, our well-being too. So, let's go behind the walls, up into the ceilings, and really see the technology that makes our modern lives even possible. It all boils down to an acronym you've probably heard a million times, HVAC. It just stands for heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. But this is so much more than just blowing cold air. It is the science of creating perfectly controlled indoor environments. And believe me, it is a massive, super technical industry. Now, talking about the theory is one thing, but seeing it in action? That's way more interesting. So let's look at how these systems actually get built in the real world by checking out the project portfolio of a company called NAIPL. And our first stop is a school. NAIPL just announced they successfully wrapped up a major project at the Keystone International School. So here are the details. For the Keystone School, they installed something called a Daikin VRV system. And that specific tech is really key here, because a VRV system, well, it's way more advanced than the air conditioner you have at home. So VRV stands for Variable Refrigerant Volume. The easiest way to think of it is like a really smart, hyper-efficient HVAC system. It can send the perfect amount of cooling needed to different rooms, all independently. What that means is you get huge energy savings and incredibly precise temperature control, which is exactly what you want for a big building with lots of rooms, like a school. So, building on that success, let's check out another milestone. This time, we're going from a school to a place people go to hang out, the Van Laveno Cafe. Okay, for the cafe, NIEPL handled the whole shebang. That's what SITC means: supply, installation, testing, and commissioning. And check this out. They used a completely different setup, a chilled water system. Instead of refrigerant, this one uses, you guessed it, cool water pumped through pipes. This just shows how versatile they are. They don't have just one solution. They pick the absolute right technology for the job. You know, completing projects is one thing, but winning bigger, more complex ones, that's how a company really shows it's growing. This next part highlights a huge step forward for NEIPL, showing some real momentum. And there it is. In their own words, they've been awarded a prestigious new project from Medicover Hospitals. Now, moving into the healthcare world, that is a massive deal. The requirements for air quality, for reliability, for precision in a hospital, it's just on a whole other level. So how big is this project? The system's power is rated at 478 horsepower. To put that in perspective, that is a massive amount of cooling capacity. It's for a large critical facility, and it represents a huge jump in scale and complexity for the company. Let's break down the whole scope here. First, that SIT again tells us they're handling everything start to finish. The project has that massive 478 horsepower VRV system we just talked about, but it also includes a separate 42-ton DX system. You can kind of think of these as two different types of cooling engines working together. The main point isn't the acronyms, it's the fact that this is a multi-layered, super complex installation that requires some serious expertise. So, how does a company pull this off? You know, this kind of consistent growth, going from schools and cafes to major hospitals. Well, according to NAIPL's own announcements, it all comes down to a pretty clear formula. They credit their success to this four-part philosophy. But, you know, these aren't just words on a poster. Pursuit of excellence is knowing to choose a VRV system for a school, but a chilled water system for a cafe. Teamwork is what lets you install a crazy complex system in a critical place like a hospital. And timely execution? Yeah, that's non-negotiable when a school has to open on time. It's actually living these principles that turns plans into reality. And they're constantly pointing out that this isn't just one person. This quote, which is directly from their hospital project announcement, really drives that home. Their success is built on the foundation of the entire team's hard work and commitment.
And that brings us right back to where we started. The story of NIPL's growth is just a fantastic window into that invisible architecture that's all around us. So the next time you walk into a building and feel that perfect wave of cool air, just take a second. What unseen systems, what incredible engineering, and what dedicated team made that simple moment of comfort possible?